books. Can't escape from the team, called the morning steam. It's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show for Wednesday, February 26th. We're off an exciting night last night, a Laker game against Dallas. Worth the watch, certainly yesterday, as the Lakers looked pretty good in their performance against Dallas last night as a featured game of Tuesday night's action on the Pro Hardwood anyway, and we'll be back at it again tonight here with another big NBA card. There's 3 games on the ice. We'll look at college basketball as well, and maybe we'll talk a little EPL today with a 5-game card. Thank you for joining me here on the show. Welcome everybody to the Morning Steam, previewing our sports betting card for Wednesday. And coming off our action on Tuesday night, like I said, I think that was the featured game. How'd you guys do? Let's take a look at some of the action from last night and what we saw in the NBA and that big NHL card. I was clicking again here on the show last night in the NHL. Let's say hello to some folks. We get rolling with the show today. Thomas Lewis was here to start us off this morning. Hello. Like this video, everyone. Subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube. Joe T is here as well. Irish King is ready to go. Hello to Irish King. Joe W is here. Robert McCormick is here this morning, and Fernando is ready to go, maybe with some EPL action. And hey, Fernando, how about my Tijuana Cholos last night with a 4-goal outburst? Maybe this team's going to be okay after all this season. Got more action in Mexico here tonight. And also action today, CONCACAF Champions League. We saw some action last night involving some MLS teams. There's 3 more games tonight, MLS teams against teams from outside the region. Good morning to Solo in the chat. Hello to Solo. Great to see my friend in here today. Getting ready for the action here on Wednesday. Also, there's the action in Copa del Rey and Copa Italia today. So we won't cover too much of that, but we'll cover our action here with our NBA card, NHL, and that big college basketball card, including some features later on tonight. I appreciate you guys joining me in here for the show. Also, hope you had the chance to join me yesterday. We had a great audience for our show as we get ready for our coverage. This weekend, we had VB MMA picks here on the Sports Money Network. I did my preview with VB yesterday, and of course, we brought along Liam picks fights. And, when you got Liam, you've got Liam's Army. And we had a great turnout for the show. We got over 300 live viewers. Look, VB's pretty popular. We had a nice little show we brought over here to Sports Money. We've been doing it for several years. But when you got Liam Picks Fights, you get a lot of viewers. And we were racking up the numbers yesterday thanks to Liam's Army. You can check out the preview for UFC Fight Night tonight, right now, if you'd like. We'd like you to stick around for this show, but it'll be up there for the rest of the week, previewing UFC here in Las Vegas this weekend, Saturday night here with the main event. Manel Kopp and Asu Almabayev. Main event this week. We previewed 2 other fights as well with Liam and a representative from SX.bet, the world's largest blockchain betting exchange, and he gave his thoughts as well as we previewed 3 fights. You can check that out right now under the live tab here on the Sports Money Network. And of course, tonight the guys will be by, and Mikey will produce the show, and we'll have First Strike, more MMA previewing here, and we've got some great things in the works here on the Sports Money Network. It's part of our MMA coverage, so make sure you check out our show here, VB MMA Picks, and then later on tonight, it'll be First Strike here on the Sports Money Network. All right. Thanks a lot for listening to that, and also, there we go. Also, want to make sure you know that with our 5-game card today in the EPL, that Sub Club has a previewed game today, the matchup between Manchester City and Tottenham Hotspur. So check that one out under the videos tab as we previewed that matchup today. Maybe if Sub comes by, he'll tell us about the video a little bit. There he is. There he is. His ears were burning. His ears were burning there. So check it out here. Maybe Sub's got some other action for us. But if not, maybe I'll come up with a play or two on this attractive 5-game card. Wednesday night football across the pond. And Fernando talking about my Cholos last night with that 4-2 victory. And he was playing some soccer from Japan there this morning. Not a huge card here tonight, but still some good action here. Yeah, that Japan card was going off there. All right, there's Sub. All right. Hey, everyone, you can get more plays from me right here at the Sports Money Network. Get my Sports Money premium picks here for Wednesday's action. You can go on over to Winnable and pick up my Sports Money premium picks, and also I have a free subscription package over here from some of my peripheral sports, including preseason exhibition, spring training baseball, whatever you like to call it, whatever the players are calling it. I do know this: don't call on the automated balls and strikes system in spring training. Why are we wasting our time testing the system on the major league level when we've tested it already at the minor league level, and we're not going to use it at the major league level this year? Do not waste our time challenging the balls and strikes with a system that isn't going to be used in the regular season, you dummies. Now, I'm all for the automated call or the challenge system, whatever they do, but what an insult here to want to go with it for a couple of weeks and then scale it back once the regular season comes. That seems ridiculous. Anyways, get my picks over at winnable.com/Ramon. Got some free picks over there today also. Probably have maybe have some other sports up there today. Like I said, exhibition baseball, probably good to go there today. So check me out. Click the QR code in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. That'll take you to my Winnable page, and you can get signed up over there. We won't charge you unless you want to be charged for extra content from me here at the Sports Money Network. We are user supported, so this is how you support me here on the show. If you'd like to see me come back and do more shows, why not grab a subscription package for one day, a week, or a month over there at $19.95, and then use the QR code, use the promo code STEAM, and they'll take it down to 50 cents a day, and I'll come here and keep doing shows on the Sports Money Network, and I'll probably do them anyways. All right, appreciate that. And just cover some of the action here from yesterday and talk about a few winners that we might have had for the card on Tuesday. We did have some winners here, but mostly in hockey. We were really clicking with the free plays yesterday. We really swept the first part of the board for the most part. We had Montreal and Carolina game to go under here on the show yesterday. We also had the Anaheim Ducks on the puck line. They got it done. Calgary and Washington. We had the under here on the show yesterday. That one definitely came in. We had the Columbus Blue Jackets on the puck line yesterday. Man, what a performance over Dallas. We didn't need the puck line. Show some guts, Ramon, and take it on the money line. We also had premium pick winner on the over there with Dallas and Columbus. Also, winner here on the show yesterday with Toronto and Boston game to go over. Also, premium pick winner here yesterday with my sports money premium picks was the New York Rangers there. And also, we had on the morning steam show yesterday the under in the game between Detroit and Minnesota. For some good winners here yesterday. Also, NBA, we did have a Team Steam consensus. Just tell it like it is right now. The Cleveland Cavaliers, you guys had them. I said go under between the chat and myself. That's a two-teamer right there. Is the consensus play wins with the Cavaliers, and I said go under in that game. Steam play. Also, we had a premium pick winner on Spurs and Pelicans game to go under. We gave out the Pelicans here on the show yesterday, and we also had a premium pick winner, or did we? With the game between the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Lakers. Hopefully you got that hook. If not, you probably got a push. Probably no worse than a push there yesterday with Dallas. Some people may have ended up with a plus 7.5. I understand that. Hopefully when worked out okay there. And also, one note, we're probably what I need to do to be a better capper using so I'm still learning, right? Using the winnable. It's only been since the start of football season that I've used this type of distribution, but I've got to be more decisive in the timing of the releases of the packages. We definitely would have had a winner yesterday. Talked about it on the show in the morning about how Hornets and Warriors. We had a loser, obviously, trying to take all those points on the show with the Hornets. They lose every game by 40 now. But we talked about how this one obviously was headed probably to the under. The steam came in on the under. The Hornets weren't scoring, and yet it went over the final number. It went under the original number in the morning. So may start seeing more split packages from me in those subscriptions, trying to get the best of the number there. Got to do a better job of that here. I know I'm pretend to be busy here on the show, but I think we could do a better job with that. So just for our couple of dozen subscribers, few dozen subscribers, let's just call it like it is, may see packages broken up more. So be aware of the distribution. Maybe you'll see some consistency there. Look, we only got 25 or 30 games left in the NBA season. We'll be into the playoffs, but we're definitely going to be on top of that once we get to March Madness with the morning games and the afternoon games and whatnot. So please set your notifications if the picks mean okay, I'm back. I've been knocked off the air there, haven't I? But I think we're back on here right now. So let me make sure there. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. I think we're back on there. Sorry about that. That was just a disconnect there for sure from the Wi-Fi. It looks like so. All right, say a few more comments. So I think we wrapped up that information there. Just maybe for on my part a little bit more frustration because of the little bit of a tailspin we had in college. I had in college basketball this week with our sports money uh, premium pick. So we did come through yesterday with some winners on the college basketball card, including premium pick winner with Ball State. Also, winner here on the show over with Northwestern and Minnesota. Okay, gonna sneeze there. Uh, Also, premium pick winner Northern Illinois and Miami of Ohio yesterday. Also, winner here on the show Baylor and Cincinnati. We hung on there. I think we hung on there, mostly hung on. There may have been a few pushes out there, but only a few were uh, I think betting at the last minute on that game. Also, premium pick winner yesterday with Georgia Tech against Pittsburgh. Winner here on the show, Team Steam Consensus. So that two-teamer hits. We owe somebody some money out there yesterday. I don't know if it's going to be very much, but we'll get it to you. Yesterday, Team Steam Consensus winner. The consensus had LSU over Tennessee. Great job there yesterday, Team Steam. Also, winner here on the show for me, I knew it, New Mexico and San Diego State. There, you guys ended up, I thought you guys were on New Mexico, but at the end of the show, Thomas said two-teamer. So no problem, we'll pay that out. But I'm pretty sure that the consensus ended up on New Mexico there yesterday against my Aztecs, and the Aztecs did the job yesterday. But we did have the under here on the show yesterday. So, all right, that's a look at some of the action there from yesterday. I see some of the comments about what I was saying. Doubles is here talking about what I was talking about with the balls and the strikes there. And, it was mostly Max Scherzer. We heard talking about it, right? He went out and struck out four guys in 2 innings of his appearance in the preseason. So, hey, good on Max, ready to go here for the season. I'm looking forward to it as well. It's going to be exciting to get the baseball season started here. Let me say hello to a few more folks. I don't mean to waste our time here. We got to get to this big NBA card, but very thankful for you guys. Sub says here, tempted to get involved in the Forest and Arsenal game today. We know that got Arsenal there, favored by a half a goal, total 2.5. Arsenal's won 7 of the last 8 meetings between Arsenal and Nottingham Forest. And he says values on Nottingham Forest and both teams to score. So, yeah, not much movement overall there, but thank you, Sub. Appreciate that. There's doubles. What do you say here? Not a fan of it. See how I no, maybe I don't understand the whole challenge system. I did try to see how it went down. We saw a little bit of it last year. So Double says it might Union will never let it happen there. I don't think they have a choice. I think it's coming next year, but I want it. There's just too many bad, well, I don't know, maybe they're starting to weed out the guys. How about the guy, we never talked about this story, but how about the umpire that was just I don't know, did they kick him out? The guy who had the friend who was gambling on his account last year. Funny thing was, they've suspended this guy. I don't know if it's indefinitely. I forgot his name. I should know it. But the funny thing is, the guy who was busted, the umpire who was busted this off season, or the investigation concluded, or whatever, he was suspended last season during the season, I believe, for letting a friend. He had a betting account, or maybe they were sharing a betting account. Probably can't have a betting account if you're an umpire, even if you're betting on West Indies cricket. Just leave it alone. But nonetheless, they were maybe betting on some football games or whatever. Maybe his friend even bet on baseball. The investigation said the umpire never bet on any baseball. And these guys are pretty good. We know that we can get down to it with these guys. Funny thing about this umpire, this was the only umpire last season to call a perfect game. I don't mean a perfect game like the pitcher threw a perfect game using the technology that they know they can use to determine the ball and the strike. And this umpire is the only one last year, and he was the most accurate umpire in the league for the balls and strikes. And he was the guy that they ended up suspending because. So why can't we deduct reasoning, right? If we can have a real investigation and say, look, maybe this guy did do something, maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's why he was only temporarily suspended. I don't think he was kicked out of the game at all. Although maybe if you have a betting account, you're supposed to be. Still seems like the most honest and fair umpire, and they got rid of him. Andrew G wants some soccer. No Mbappe. Jerry had Columbus team total over. Tried to get stars there. And Terrell, good morning. Hello. Yep, Jerry, I had that one just was and there's doubles talking about that Providence game yesterday. You know who had it wrong was me, but I had it wrong on the taking the points with Providence, and Marquette's been blowing teams out. Let's see what here. Billy Mack says, what about Todd? We just, hey, Billy, check out the video from Sub if you have time. Sub made a video previewing the game today between Manchester City and Tottenham. We better get some of this steam coming in. At the car wash. Good morning to our tops. Good job, Team Steam. All right. Yep, Jerry, that was key for me too. I tried to caution some folks about Guath being out, but San Diego State, the home court, just too strong here, it feels, with these guys. All right.
Steam playing.
Let's get to some of this steam, shall we? Doubles doesn't want to take the arguments out of the game. There's still a place for it, right, Doubles? Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. That is the man right there. Yep, there's Terrell talking about it right there. You guys are on it. Yep. Well, no doubt, Doubles. No, I wasn't. I didn't actually. I did bet the over. I didn't give it out on the air. People are like, you bet the games, but you don't tell everybody you bet. Well, I can't tell you every game. I mean, I wouldn't make it as people play that many games. But the steam came in on the over, no doubt. The steam was on the over. Okay, let's get started with the show, shall we? And get rolling on some of this. Let's get rolling on the steam. Look at this. I made one big giant sheet today. So I think I make too much noise rustling my sheet under the computer sometimes, but all right. Let's get some of this steam going here, and then we'll get to the show. Fordham is just taking some steam a few moments ago. They were plus 13 against George Mason today on the road, but the steam came in, and right now the move is on Fordham. They were a 13-point dog, but now Fordham is down to 12, even 11.5 now here at some books. That's some definite steam right there on Fordham against George Mason. That one just a couple of moments ago. Also, St. John's and Butler here move to the over here with St. John's and Butler. Now, this series is a definite under series, although you got to consider the fact that this St. John's is better than all the previous St. John's that this little trend runs to, that these two teams have been playing a lot of unders. Still, it's at Butler. St. John's now continued at an all-time high. Anyways, we're talking about the total here, steam to the over here. St. John's and Butler, it was 150 in that matchup, but now it's gone up here to 151.5 right now at DraftKings. We've seen some steam to the over here with St. John's and Butler today, and that's one of the games we'll preview. I've picked about 10 games today to preview in college basketball. The Ottawa Senators took some steam here moments ago in hockey. Today, the Senators were plus $1.20 or so, but they've gone down here now. Maybe that's creating a little bit of value in the Winnipeg Jets, one of the best teams going, but Ottawa still at home in that game. We'll preview the NHL. Mississippi and Auburn seeing some steam here to the under. In this one, it was 154, but now we're down here now to 152.5. It looks like at some offshore books right now. So a definite move to the under here in the game between Mississippi and Auburn. You know, we've previewed Auburn so many times. I've actually left them off the preview today with a, favorite over Ole Miss by a dozen. So we'll just talk about that right now with that game steamed to the under there with Ole Miss and Auburn. Just seconds ago, South Florida taking the steam here right now in their matchup against Temple. They were 2.5-point dogs, but they're down to 1.5 right now as the steam is coming in here on South Florida this morning. And we had a couple more, I think, here while we were getting ready. Loyola Chicago here doubles. Ramblers taking some steam here in this one in their matchup today. Loyola Chicago here was a 3.5-point favorite, but they've moved up here higher now in their matchup against George Washington. And now Loyola Chicago has moved higher here to, let's call it 5 at Bovada here right now. Big move today. Loyola Chicago in their matchup against George Washington. Just seconds ago, here comes some more steam. And let's go with the old full disclosure statement here. Kansas State and Central Florida. Central Florida is getting steamed right now. They were a 4-point favorite. They're clearly moving higher here right now in their matchup. And I was going to take Central Florida, so it's going to be a little bit higher right now, but I want to mention it right now that Central Florida is taking that steam here against Kansas State. They're up to 5.5 here at some books right now. DraftKings is hanging on to a 4.5 minus 115, but then you see mostly 5.5s, and that's my pick. Central Florida to rock Kansas State and get that money. And I think we got just a couple of others here real quick. Kentucky and Oklahoma steam to the under in this one with Kentucky and Oklahoma. Oklahoma is showing a penchant for having some lower scores. We know Kentucky can run it up with anybody, but the steam came in on the under in the Kentucky-Oklahoma game. It was 162.5, but it's gone down here right now, and currently we're looking at the line at 161.5 for the most part. Another one just seconds ago came in on Citadel. In their matchup today, they were getting 16 points against Furman, but right now it's moved lower here, and we're seeing this one move down to Furman minus 15 for the most part. 1-point move. Citadel takes the steam here against Furman. Maybe we'll start the show, but I got a couple more here, I think. That might be it. All right, let's get rolling. Say hello to Cash Kane, Oak Caps, Nick Handy as well. And Jerry says, yep, maybe MASH is out for Temple. I tried to put MASH back on New Mexico the other day. All right, let's get started with our NBA coverage. Get rolling. Raptors and Pacers here in this one. And look at this, the Pacers. I mean, for Raptors right now, 10. Could that be? I mean, Raptors are still a pretty good money-making team. They do a pretty good job as an underdog, but still the Pacers, the better team, and they're going to be favored here for sure in this matchup by 10. And the total here, look at that total Totally. I mean, wow. I typed these in late last night and knew with the easier hockey, I was able to. But boy, wow, what a move here this morning. Uh, did I type that in wrong? The total here right now is 233 and a half, 234. But no, last night it definitely was higher here. So pretty big move for sure. I don't know what the thought process is on that. Yeah, we've got a few injuries of note here, including Toronto's Jakob Podol. He's questionable. We didn't see him in that game there, obviously, yesterday against Boston, and maybe it did affect, even though the Raptors probably got the money for most people in that betting controversial finish with the goaltending call in the Celtics and Raptors game yesterday. Halliburton is questionable. TJ McConnell questionable as well. So those are injuries on the Pacers side. They're still favored by 10. So I don't know. I don't know if that's the right move. I think, if anything, it might be creating a little bit of value here in the over, especially with these two teams. I'm pretty sure these are over teams. These semi familiar opponents have gone over in 7 of their last 8 meetings coming in. You look at these two teams, I think you might kind of consider them to trend over a little bit, right? You have Indiana 16 and 10 to the over at home, Toronto 28 and 23 to the over on the as an underdog. They do go under for the most part on the road, but nonetheless, the series goes over, and these guys play quite a bit. The teams met back in December with it 122 to 111. Now, that did not go over. It was right about this number here, but Toronto got the win at home. They also won back in November for a game that went to 249 points, and Toronto won that one in similar fashion, 130 to 119. So, see what you got here in this one with Indiana and Toronto. And here we go. We're going to start off. Thomas says Raptors and over here. Just feels like good value. Feels like true value. Yeah, right, Jerry? What was I thinking there? Hello to Jermaine this morning. I saw Jermaine hanging out. Where did I see Jermaine hanging out? At one of the. So, oh, was it? Oh, over with my buddies over there at Nuke the House last night, Jermaine. Thanks for going over there and hanging out with those guys last night. I think they were the only stream kind of going, and pretty fond of those guys. So thanks, Jermaine, for hanging out with those guys over there last night. Right? Ever since they fired Pat Summerall, Jerry, it went downhill. Everyone knows that. All right. So, look, I see some talk, not much talk from you. I think not much talk from you guys here in this one. Look, I really didn't talk about the spread too much in this game, but you know, Toronto here, having played last night, the Pacers were off, so that might be a little bit of a factor there as well. Indiana has covered the spread in 9 straight games at home, coming in off of a home loss. They lost to Denver a couple of nights ago here, a pretty 125 to 116, but they still got to lay 10 points to a Toronto team that's 33 and 22 against the spread. Indiana 14 and 17 here as a favorite. So it's kind of some conflicting trends for sure here right now, but I kind of want to go with the side. I'm starting to get a little bit of excitement here maybe for this total with such a dramatic move to the under. Now you might say maybe the Sharps do know something here a little bit as far as the total, and that's why it's moving down. But I don't necessarily see it in the injuries. I mean, we know Bi's out, but I mean he's been out forever. So I don't think you're seeing a big difference here. Now, Hallie is that is a big factor, and maybe it's because Halliburton is not going to make the lineup that um, you know maybe that's why the total, but it hasn't affected the spread. The spread's still 10 points here in this one. So maybe it will be a tough game for the Raptors on the back to back here. Maybe the Pacers can get the money. Nobody really likes this game, so I guess I was kind of um, waiting to see if anybody take a flyer here. I might just have to go with that total as my play. Let's see here. Fleas here today. And Jermaine, that's cool. And all right, Aces Place. You guys are having some fun there in the chat. Oh man, I really want to use this. I'm gonna end up here taking the over. Gosh, I want to use that as a premium, but I don't know if I'm sold on the side here in this game. I'm leaning Pacers because of the back-to-back for the Raptors, and not sure they're going to be able to handle it coming off the game against Boston. Man, we're seeing some more steam come in. Maybe we should get to some of these here real quick and knock them off here while we're doing our NBA coverage. All right, I'm taking the over. Man, I'm taking the over as my. I want to give a good play out. I feel like this will be a fine play. I'm going to take the over here with Toronto and Indiana. Like I said, series history, easily going over between these two. We got a 4-point discount here right now in this game, and all right, that's going to be my pick. Maryland. Let's get the screen off. Maryland is taking some steam here right now against Michigan State in that big game today. Wow. Can you believe it? Maryland was a 3.5-point favorite, but they are clearly moving higher right now to 4.5 in this one. Michigan State and Maryland, sharp books already at 4. Chance Stevens questionable in this one. Jahari Long questionable for Maryland, but they're taking the action here. Maybe these guys are in. They're up to 4.5 for sure. The steam is in. It's on Maryland this morning in the big game against Michigan State. We'll preview it. Wow. All right, got a couple more here to pass along. Boise State tonight in their matchup with Utah State. Taking the steam here right now. Late game out west in the Mountain West. Big game with Boise State now up to 4.5 pretty much everywhere against Utah State. This is real actionable betting information, not just stuff I'm sitting here making up for attention. DePaul. Okay, maybe I am making it up. DePaul is taking the steam here in their matchup today. DePaul was getting 16.5 points against Creighton, but hey, I guess it's going to be a good day for DePaul. It's down to 15.5 here at DraftKings right now. The steam's in on DePaul because who knows why. Feels like Creighton's beating everybody up. Why wouldn't they smash DePaul? Okay. Get my charging stations going here. Okay, a few more here. Charlotte is taking steam. Charlotte U taking the steam in their matchup today. Charlotte was getting 8.5 from Tulane, but now it's down here to 7.5 or so in this one. Is Charlotte taking the steam against Tulane today? Definitely down to 7.5. Was 8.5, now 7.5. Charlotte takes the steam against Tulane. Georgia State took some steam here as I was getting rolling with that first NBA game. Georgia State was a 2-point favorite, but they're moving higher here right now. Georgia State currently up to 3 Three for sure. Mostly threes out there in the game between Georgia State and Coastal. Georgia State was two, up to three here now in that one against Coastal. All right, we'll keep moving here right now. Oh, I think I just saw one more here. NC State. Is the sound off on this thing? NC State taking the steam here right now in the matchup against Syracuse. NC State was a 1.5 point dog. It's a pick 'em right now. NC State clearly taking the move here against Syracuse on the road. It's now a pick 'em. Let's continue on in our NBA coverage here right now. And see here. Oh, Jerry had Raptors and under. There we go. Thank you, Jerry. At least we had. And there's okay. I'm not sure what the I was. Okay. Here we go. Good morning to James Parm as well. Next up, Trailblazers and Wizards. Here in this one, you've got the Trailblazers on the road. They've actually taken the steam here this morning a little bit. Arkansas State is taking some steam here right now in their matchup with UL Lafayette. Arkansas State was a 10.5 point favorite. They're moving to 11.5 right now. Arkansas State is taking the steam in their matchup with ULL. All right, get back to the action here with the Trailblazers and the Wizards. The Trailblazers have clearly taken some of the action here this morning. They were a 5.5 point favorite, but they're mostly 6 here right now. There's a couple of books that are at 6.5, but mostly 6s here right now. And the total, 232 or so. A little bit of a move on the total here as well between Portland and Washington. Portland comes in here on a 2-game winning streak right now. They've kind of got back to winning. Yeah, they went through a little bit of a tailspin, but they were already starting to put it together a little bit before that, and they're having a pretty good run right now. Now, they're not in their best position. They're definitely a better team against the spread at home, maybe even as an underdog for the most part, but here they're having to lay the points on the road against the tanking Wizards here, it feels like at this point. You think right now, which team is headed? I mean, Washington, they want that number 1 pick. They want to get a chance at Cooper Flag. You'd have to think here at this point. So how much can they tank here? They're already 4 games clear of Charlotte and Utah, and so are they just going to fold it up here at this point? But still, for Portland to win a game by margin here against a Washington team that has been covering spreads of late, that's a fact, as bad as they've been. Washington has covered 8 of their last 10 games overall right now. A pretty good groove against the spread here, even when they're losing games. Now, they are coming off a win over Brooklyn last time out. That's not anything to write home about, but you can't put Portland too much ahead of Brooklyn, especially going on the long road trip here. So it does feel a little bit dicey, but nonetheless. All right. So Washington has not fared well in this series. In fact, Portland has come into this game and covered 6 of the last 7. Make it 7 straight years. Portland has come in and covered the spread against Washington. Now, there were some years maybe that Portland was a little bit better than this. Washington probably wasn't much worse than this. But still, man, it does feel a little bit dicey for a team like Portland here, who's just 2-4 against the spread as a favorite this year, period. Not just on the road, but period. So let's go to the chat maybe and see what you have in this one. Not the best game around, but nonetheless. All right, Thomas says Washington and under. Jerry says Washington and under. Well, I can't disagree with that underplay there. I don't know. You guys are on the Wizards there, plus those points. Maybe today, maybe they can get it here. All right, I guess that's it from the chat. So I guess I'll have to make the call here for myself. Yep. Not much from you guys. So, all right, you guys are liking Washington. I'll just take in and the under. Both are Washington and under here. So I'm going to go with the under as my play in this one. Kind of ride with my guys here a little bit. I just don't know. Portland should win and cover, and the fact that they usually do win and cover here makes me think that maybe there is something to that. Like I said, we know they're making a long trip, but they make this same stop every year at Washington. Now, I understand that this Portland team probably wasn't as good as a few of those other teams back there. But all of a sudden, remember, Portland is good again. Not good, but they've been playing better, no doubt, over the last few weeks, and now they're back to winning a little bit again. Swaggy's not touching the Wizards. So I'll just take the under here right now in the game between. I feel like I'm using my premiums here on the show, but that's okay. We want to get some winners here today. All right, a few more Steam plays in college, and it's a big card, so I feel like I want to talk about every one of them. Ohio State is taking the Steam here right now in that matchup tonight. Ohio State was, let's see here, a 1.5 point dog in their matchup here tonight at USC, but this one's going to go down here right now to a pick 'em. Ohio State is taking the Steam for sure against USC. It's in our preview, and Ohio State right now taking that Steam against Southern Cal. We had a few more as we were talking pro basketball. Butler is taking the Steam here in their matchup. Butler was an 8-point dog against St. John's, but right now they're down here for sure to, let's call it 6.5 here at some of the books. Yeah, there's some 7s out there as well, but the move is clearly on Butler today. If you like discounts and you like good basketball teams, St. John's might be your call today. Well, but maybe there's something a little bit to this Butler team as an underdog. It's not the usual Butler. We know that this team's barely under 500. But they're taking the move here against St. John's. We already talked about that Steam on the over in a series that always goes under. But right now, Butler is taking that Steam for sure. Like I said, we don't just make it up. We're watching them. We're watching these line moves. Southern Miss is taking the Steam here right now in their matchup. Southern Miss here was a 7.5 point dog in their matchup against South Alabama. Right now, this line has moved to 6.5 for the most part. See some 7s still out there, but the move is on Southern Miss tonight in the matchup with South Alabama. And one more that came in was on Arkansas State, the game right. Oh, we already mentioned that one. Okay, let's keep on keeping on here in the NBA. Go to the next one. We've only made it through 2 games so far. Let's get to those Celtics, shall we? In their matchup here against the Pistons. Celtics favored in this one by 3.5. Call it 4.5 now. It's definitely 4.5. 4.5 and the total 226. So saw the Celtics obviously last night. They looked really good in that matchup there with the Raptors. Yeah, maybe they didn't get the money, but they were laying 11 and a half, whatever it was, 10 and a half, whatever. It landed really close to the number. It felt like the Raptors got the money for the most part. thanks to that goaltending call. Hey, a goaltending's a goaltending, even if it was at the end of the game with a big old spread, and maybe it wasn't a goaltending. All right, so see what you got here on this one. Now, look, this does feel like the Boston spot to me right now. Now, Detroit, what can you say? They are playing terrific. Yeah, Boston's off the back-to-back, so you have to consider that as well. This Detroit team is hot as ever right now. Makes this one even that much more intriguing here. Both teams coming in with where's Bird and Isaiah in this one, right? Detroit's covered 8 of their last 10 overall, 5 straight games, I believe, here right now, and they're 21-14 against the spread as an underdog. Boston just 24-29 against the spread as a favorite, but Boston's been doing some covering here too of late. Don't get me wrong. Covered basically 4-0-1 against the spread in their last 5 games coming in right now. Boston has beaten Detroit in 5 straight meetings here right now, but Detroit did get the money back on December the 4th at Boston, getting 12.5 as a 130-120 loss. So, but all of a sudden, this line is changing dramatically because of the great play of the Pistons. KP is questionable in this one. Big Al, questionable. Luke Cornett, questionable in this one. Go to the chat here, see what you guys think in the matchup between Boston and Detroit. Boston's won 12 straight meetings over the Pistons overall. All right. Thomas said Portland could still win that game and not cover. It's hard, it is possible for sure. Jerry's got USC to bounce back. Here's Thomas. He likes the Pistons and the over in this one. And Terrell says, there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in. And Jerry says this line is short. Take Detroit in this one. Yeah, I mean, you're never getting Boston, it feels like, at this big of a discount. Now, granted, they've already moved here. It feels like a little bit on Boston. It wasn't, it wasn't a game that got steamed or anything. So maybe it's a little bit of a public move on Boston here. You just never get Boston this cheap, right? Feels like ever right now. But, hey, give credit where credit is due. This Pistons team on this winning streak right now, there's got to be a little bit of something to that here, it feels like. All right. Nobody's liking this game here other than Jerry. So, all right. I'm going on. I'll take the under here in this one. Boston's gone under in 4 of their last 5 games overall. They're 11-19 to the under on the road. So give me the under here in this one, Boston and Detroit. Oops, there we go. All right. Oh, maybe we got one more here. Andrew says, look, the Pistons are about as hot as they've come. They're starting to cover some games we never thought they'd be covering here of late, right? They demolished the Clippers. And remember, the Clippers, it was another one of those where the Clippers had the series advantage, even though the teams meet just twice a year. All right, that's it for that one. Hey, a little bit more steam came in. I think you guys heard it there. Georgetown and Connecticut in this nice ball game tonight. Now, I didn't include Georgetown and Connecticut tonight in the previews, with Connecticut favored by 13, but there is some steam here for sure on the over, and this one is going up pretty strong here actually, up to 142.5 right now. Pretty big move considering that, well, Georgetown and Connecticut has been a big time under series for sure when those two teams meet. Now, the steam already come in on Connecticut earlier, and that's why it's 14, maybe even 14.5 in a few books right now. And now the steam's come in here on the over in the game between Georgetown and Connecticut tonight. All right, keep it going here in the NBA with the 76ers and the Knicks. Well, really bummer. I mean, come on. I mean, we made fun of. We're not going to apologize to Joel Embiid. Maybe he could have done some things in his life. It's tough. Well, maybe when you're, bigger, right? The wear and tear, whatever the case may be. However, you trained your body when you were younger. Maybe you came from a different background, and maybe it wasn't. We know now that even young athletes are getting trained by trainers, right? Know how to go about it. But when you're maybe coming up from a different type of upbringing where you're just relying on your natural talents and everything, maybe that's where some of the deficiencies of some of these athletes that can't play a full schedule anymore come into play. Just hope it's not over for Joel Embiid, but it does feel like it could be the last hurrah. Now the draining of his knee and the plasma injections are not working, and he wants to have surgery now. So, look, Embiid doesn't think he's done, and I'm we're hoping that he's not, because there's no doubt he's wonderful to watch and still can be a big impact if we have a healthy guy out there. And if it's going to be surgery, it's going to have to be. So why not take care of it now? Don't worry about this season. And with his age and whatnot. Now, we heard Paul George criticize the team, the lack of pride, whatever. They lost that game by 50 points, they lost by 32, but they trailed Chicago by 50 points in that last game. So it really has hit rock bottom here for the 76ers. And to me, it looks like an absolute bargain here with the Knicks. That's tough to say when you have to lay 10, have to lay double digits, and maybe the Knicks are in a position here today where they don't have the full motivation anymore. Just playing the Philadelphia 76ers isn't going to get the New York Knicks up anymore. The Knicks have failed to cover the spread in their last two games, but they were underdogs against those tough opponents, Boston and Cleveland. So we'll see. They obviously were in a look ahead maybe there when they beat the Bulls and they could not cover. They failed to cover in 4 straight right now, talking about the New York Knicks. But Philadelphia is on a long losing streak and a long streak of not covering spreads, for sure. So see what you got here in this one with Philadelphia and the Knicks. Now, the widely reported steam did come in on the under, and that's why it's down here. It's actually down to 230 here right now, and maybe the spread's actually gone up here to 10.5. Seeing some action here. Good match coming up here right now. With Medvedev and Pateshi Pericard right now. Just getting underway here. All right, there we go. Knicks by 10.5 and 230 right now. So let's see if you guys have started to pop off in the chat a little bit with maybe your pick in this game. 9 of the last 13 meetings between these two teams at the Garden have gone under. The Knicks have covered 4 of the last 5, won and covered 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams. Philadelphia has actually defeated the Knicks in 12 of the last 17 games, but those days are long gone now. As Philadelphia tries to fix things here, it feels like it's 9 straight for the Sixers right now that they've failed to cover. So going to the chat to see if there's any moves here with you guys. And let's see, Thomas was on Georgetown on that move. All right, Knicks and under here for Thomas. Irish King says Knicks first quarter. And yeah, bummer news there for sure about Sorber being out here right now. Big news. I thought it, but man, I felt like it just broke here within the last 24 hours or so. When was it? Yesterday morning. We were on the air when it broke, and we didn't say anything at that time. I didn't catch wind of it until later. Okay. All right. Fernando going to lean to the under. Jerry says Knicks and under. Robert likes the under here as well. Kind of tough, right, to want to take an under here with these two teams to a certain extent, but the widely reported steam has come in on the under. It's just that these two teams are clearly over teams this season, with the Knicks 27 and 22 the over as a favorite. Philadelphia 19 and 14 to the over as an underdog, but I kind of respect that steam a little bit. Still, maybe because the Sixers will not score, right? They'll be the team that's kind of maybe left behind here, it feels like. All right. I'm going to take the New York Knicks. I feel like that's my best play again, but I don't know about the total here at this point. Maybe try to analyze. Look, it's not like Embiid's been in there, so I don't know what the and Cat questionable here, says Thomas. So definitely got to consider that. Also, Mitch Robb, he's out of this game. OG Anunoby, probable. Gordon for the Sixers, he is out now for the season with that wrist injury. Kyle Lowry's out as well. Yabusele, he's out. So definitely a bit of a skeleton crew here for the Sixers today. So I'll still take the Knicks to get this money. I kind of want to take it as a premium, but hopefully I don't.
Playing.
Maybe I'm focusing on the college premiums here to clean it up. All right, some more steam coming in. Let's keep talking a little college ball, mixing it in here, despite what Mr. Tomatoes might say. Holy Cross has taken some steam here in their game against Colgate. Holy Cross was getting 10 points in the matchup with Colgate, but right now it's moving here to 9. For the most part, let's call it 9. So Holy Cross takes the steam here just moments ago against Colgate. Also, we saw North Florida take some steam here moments ago in their matchup today with Eastern Kentucky. North Florida was a pick'em. North Florida, they're now up to a 2.5 here, even at DraftKings right now. So pretty big move here on North Florida. They just took the steam against Eastern Kentucky. We cover it all here on the morning steam, including Bellarmine and Florida Gulf Coast. We've seen the steam here on the under here in Bellarmine and Florida Gulf Coast Credit Union. It was 149 in that matchup, but boy, this one's gone down here all the way to 145.5. That looks to me like a 3.5 point move from the early number. It's not like those are under teams, right? Necessarily, but the steam just came in big time on the under there with Bellarmine and Florida Gulf Coast. I think I just called Bellarmine 3 different pronunciations. Radford and Gardner-Webb. We're seeing some steam here right now to the over in the matchup with Radford and Gardner-Webb. Now, if any game was going to go over on this card, I would think it'd be this one with Radford and Gardner-Webb. It was 145.5. Now up to 147 here at some books right now. Radford and Gardner-Webb steam to the over. Oh, that looks kind of. Now that might be a play. I'm not giving it out just yet, but caught my attention. All right. Also, let's get back. Oh, Notre Dame and Clemson. Saw some steam come in here on the under just a few moments ago. It was 137, but we are down here considerably in this one between Notre Dame and Clemson. It's all the way to 134.5 here at a few books right now. That's a 2.5 point move on the under with Notre Dame and Clemson. All right. I'm having some fun here. I'm taking my time a little bit. Hope you don't mind. Let's get to some more action here right now with the Hawks and the Heat. Well, got the Heat here favored in this one by 2.5, and the total 229.5 when I entered this in, but pardon me. The total here has gone up to 230 in this one with the Hawks and the Heat. Now, look, we have a pretty regular series here between these two teams. And, well, 8 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams here in Miami have gone under. Now, these two teams, probably known for producing a few overs this season, particularly Miami, who's 15-8 to the over at home. Atlanta is 33-25 to the over this season, although they tend to go over more at home than they do necessarily on the road, although they are 16-15 to the over on the road. Miami is struggling here right now just to win games. They've lost 6 of their last 7 currently, and Atlanta's covered 5 straight games right now. Have the Hawks on the road. They have failed 2 of their last 3 games. These teams, of course, just met 2 nights ago. It was 98-86. In favor of Atlanta. They were 2.5 point favorites in that one on the road. Is that right? I want to make sure I got that right. Atlanta won the game 98-86 in that one. And still looking at a 229 here, right? And not a fluke necessarily. Now, the previous game did go over here, but again, it's the games in Miami for the most part that have been going over here. No, that have been going under here. The games that are in Miami have been going under, although the last one wasn't over. Hope I didn't screw that one up too much. All right, see what you guys have here in this one before I start making shit up. Let's go to the chat and see what you guys have here. Miami's gone over in 8 of their last 9 games at home. So, okay, maybe it's this game. I don't know. Fernando might be on the under. Jerry might be on the under. Thomas says Atlanta and under here. And I'll probably just do what you guys are saying. I'll take the under. Like I said, I feel like this is another one where I feel like that's the best play, but I'm going under here right now in the matchup between Atlanta and Miami. All right. Heard a steam move come in just moments ago. We're going to the extra board for the matchup between North Carolina Central and Maryland Eastern Shore. This one was 146.5. We're down to 145.5 right now. In the game between North Carolina Central and Maryland Eastern Shore, I will say that that's kind of an under series when those two teams have met there, and the steam just came in on the under with NC Central and Maryland Eastern Shore. Let's keep it going right now in the NBA and take a look at this one with the Thunder and the Nets. The Thunder are 17-point favorites here in this one. 16.5 at the sharp books, 17.5 at the square books. So I don't know. Maybe it does point to how can you not take the Nets here at this point? Yeah, the Thunder's awesome, man. They win every game, they smash every game. But look, the Nets are still kind of a cushion to kind of make some money here, it feels like, even though they went through a bit of a tailspin before the end of the first half. You look at overall, they're still a bit of a pretty decent underdog at 26-21. Just that Oklahoma City covers all kinds of spreads. Still, do you think they can get this number, 17 on the road, in a game that they're expected that they could sleepwalk through in this one? The total here is 216 and a half right now. Brooklyn, we know, is such a solid under at this point. They've gone under in 18 of their 27 home games. They've gone under in 9 of their last 10 overall, including a bunch of games in a row. Right now, have the Nets. So let's see what you have here. Brooklyn's gone under in 5 straight and 11 of their last 12 games at home. Oklahoma City has won and covered 5 straight meetings here. Or let's see. Oklahoma City's won 5 of the last 6 trips here to Brooklyn. They've also covered 5 of the last 6 games against the Brooklyn Nets. But man, they're laying 17 points here. Are they really going to beat up everybody like this? Even a team like Brooklyn that you got to give them a little bit of a reputation for trying hard. Remember, they just covered 11 points against the 76ers. How were they ever getting 11 points in that game against the Sixers? Now that you look back on it, right? Now, they did fail the cover against Cleveland. They were getting 12.5 at home and lost by 13. But 17 is something entirely different, right? All right, we know that. Let's take a look here. See if there's anything from you guys in the chat. And let's go with Jerry says we should go take on Maryland Eastern Shore. Thomas says I kind of want to take the points in this one. Jerry says OKC and under. Robert's on the under here as well. Seems pretty solid, man. It seems like Brooklyn just such an automatic under. And look, if they do a good job, granted, there could be some ineptitude as well, but Brooklyn, yeah, they're bad, but they picked their spots. They've gotten some wins here, even though it's always against bad teams, it feels like. They beat the teams that they can beat. All right. I've got to try the Brooklyn Nets here. I can't pass. I want to take I've just seen, some services, if you will, some paid cappers giving out the Thunder here today. Robert's on the under. I think that's where I've got to go. I need some premiums, man. I feel like that's the best play, but I'll try the Nets. I'll be that guy. All right. We'll keep it moving here right now. Feels like a slow day there with the chat all-stars. We got 80 of you watching here today. Thank you for joining me on the morning steam. Now the Clippers are on the road and they're taking on the Bulls. Clippers are favored here in this one by 8. Make it 9 now. 9 and 229 for the most part. Feels like the line here. So we definitely have a move on the Clippers. The widely reported steam did come in on the under here, but right now the total looks like it's moving back a little bit higher here at this point to 229. So let's get your take on this one with the Clippers and the Bulls. Clippers come in 31 and 26. The Bulls are 25 and 35 here right now. The Clippers are the ones actually on a losing streak here at this point on this road trip. They started with a win at Utah, but have since lost to Milwaukee, Indiana, and Detroit. They've failed to cover right now in 4 straight games, have the LA Clippers. Now, they have covered 4 of the last 5 meetings against the Chicago Bulls. Teams meet just twice a year. Four of the last five meetings between these two teams in Chicago have gone over. The Bulls have gone over in six of their last nine games overall. Clippers right now still 19 and 12 against the spread as a favorite, but they're not covering numbers right now. Now the Bulls are not a winning proposition either, but they're 21 and 22 as an underdog. So let's see what you have here. The Clippers feel like a very popular play at the window. See plenty of cappers giving out the Clippers here today, but man, they have enough trouble just winning the games, it feels like. Not saying the Bulls have, given up on the season, but we'll see what they can put out there today. Dosunmu, he's questionable. Vucevic, he is doubtful. Jalen Smith is out. Patrick Williams is out of this game. Lonzo Ball is probable here. Kawhi is probable as well, but Normie Powell, he's out. There's Robert. He likes to. Let's see what we got. We got some plays coming in already. Thanks, you guys. Now we're waking up. And let's see here. Clippers and under for Thomas. And Robert likes the Clippers here as well. Jerry says Chicago and under here. Just too many points. Too many points. Now, this one's kind of unique as far as to me the total is concerned. Like I said, maybe you could look to the fact that the Clippers are 11 and 16 to the under on the road this season, and Chicago's 14 and 16 to the under on the road. However, Chicago is 25 and 19 to the over as an underdog. Redbeard's on the Clippers. And Thomas says, I thought Normie Powell was, I think he's going to miss this game, that knee. That's my guy right there, Norman Powell, too, for sure. Okay, so, yeah, I'm kind of with you guys there. It does feel like maybe even for these guys, just maybe too many points. The Clippers are not, they're having enough trouble, it feels like, just covering spread, just winning games on the road right now. This is bad. So I'm going to try the Bulls here, plus the points. I'm going to fade all those experts, I think is what I'm doing here today. All right. Thanks to the chat. Good morning to Redbeard. Redbeard, thank you for your generosity over the last couple of days here on the Sports Money Network. You're truly one of a kind, and we really appreciate it. Okay. Next up, we've got the Kings and the Jazz in this one with another Kings Road favorite here. And look, we know for the Jazz, you just want to check the injury report, see who's in, see who's out. And if you got enough players in, you got to consider them. The way they're covering all these spreads here right now. Now, Walker Kessler is the key player. He is questionable in this game. Markkanen is definitely out. Collins is definitely out. Sexton is definitely out. So there are some factors here with that one that you do kind of want to have Markkanen in here. But there's still no doubt the Jazz, this is where they excel, the home dog role, it feels like right now, the way things are going, and the Kings aren't covering many spreads. They're definitely better than the Jazz here at this point. Kings are a game over 500, and the Jazz are in the tankathon. Still, this feels difficult enough for the Kings just to get the covers here a little bit, just to get the wins here a little bit. The fact that we know about so many of those Jazz players could make it, where you want to go ahead and take the Kings here and not worry about it. We don't know about Kessler here at this point, so. All right. Okay, let's go to the chat here a little bit. See what you have in this one. Kings and Jazz. Kings and over for Thomas. Says it should be just a kind of a carbon copy game. Is that what he said? Robert's on the over here. Nice to have Rick J in the chat. Is that the Rick J? I always wondered if this is, I want to say the Rick. Of course, it's the Rick J, but, there's a popular handicapper, Rick J, on X. Maybe that's you, Rick J. I'd be interested to know that. All right. Jerry says you can't lay under 9. You can't lay under. Under. He's saying take the under. You can't lay 9 with the Kings. Okay, I get that. I think that's what he's saying there. Okay, that's what I'm going to do as well. I'm going to try the Jazz here. I know I've gotten burned, and yeah, we get beat on some of these. It's my job to speculate on the injuries here. I think Kessler will make this lineup, so I'm going to take the Utah Jazz. All right. We've got one more in the NBA. Just taking my old sweet time here, aren't I? Spurs and Rockets to wrap us up here in this one with the Texas teams here going at it. You've got the Rockets favored by 9.5, and the total is up to 228.5 here right now. There we go. On that widely reported steam that came in on the over here in this one, maybe it's about the lack of rim protection now without Wemby in there at this point. And we feel just terrible about it, man. You really start to hope that they can get this situation under control for Wemby. Remember, it's not the deep vein thrombosis. It's not so much the injury. It is about the injury, right? But it's more about the fact that you need the blood thinners, and you can't play professional sports on blood thinners. If it's something where Wemby will need this, if they can't control this, right, that's where it's going to be a problem moving forward. You just hope it's not something where it's going to be Dunsky. Now, Fred VanVleet is out for Houston. I know for some of you that's kind of a deal breaker. Fred's in, you want Houston. Fred's out, you want to fade Houston here a little bit. But the Spurs, Bassey is questionable in this one. Other than that, they've got a clean bill of health here. But they're not getting much done here right now. Spurs have lost 3 in a row and failed to cover the spread. They were underdogs in all those games. They're just 2-8 against the spread. Their last 10 games overall, 12-16 against the spread on the road. They were struggling with Wemby in some of these roles. For Houston here, they are all just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games overall. So see what you have here in this one. Look, the total seems to be moving here to the over, but I think we've kind of adjusted already, how we're looking, looking at the situation without a Wemby. I think we're already comfortable, or at least, accepting of it here at this point, knowing what we're going to be up against. It feels like moving forward. Pardon me here, my browser crashed. All right, I'll go to the chat.
Steam playing.
Let's see what you got here in this one. If anything, last game here on the NBA card. Rockets and under here for Thomas. And Robert does like the under here. Yeah, you know what, Robert? I kind of thinking, why would it go over right now? I mean, come on, the Spurs have some issues scoring here for sure right now as an underdog, and I would think the Rockets are 12-15 to the under at home. I might be more apt to consider the under here. But thinking this one, San Antonio's gone under in 5 straight. Ironically, how many games has Wemby missed now? We think of his defense, we think of the way he changes the game, but it's a pretty good player on both ends, right? Now, also, we saw the Rockets play last night against the Bucks. They did not cover. They won and did not cover in that game against the Bucks, a low-scoring game. Houston's failed to cover the spread in 7 straight games on a back-to-back. Now, the Spurs are also on a back-to-back, just to be clear. The Pelicans got the win and cover yesterday. We had the Pelicans here on the show. We also had the under on that in that game as a premium. All right. Oh, great point, Jerry. Great point there. If it goes over, it'll be Houston have to put up the big number. I think there is what Jerry's saying. All right. I'm going to try here the Houston Rockets. I'm going to take the Rockets here in this one and lay those points until San Antonio can maybe figure it out here. But maybe, both teams on the back-to-back kind of has it for me. I might not go with Houston because of the stats on their back-to-back, but I think I'm going to try the Rockets here to win this one by double digits because I like the total and I need some premiums because I've used some of my best plays hopefully here on the show. All right, that's it for basketball. And maybe I was just taking my time because we know the NHL schedule is short here today. We are going to look at plenty of college basketball, but let's take a look at the National Hockey League tonight. The Jets are on the road facing Ottawa. And the Jets are favored at minus $1.30 here in this one. The total, 5.5. Under minus 120. Pretty big move here. Now, the steam did come in on Ottawa in this game. It feels like the steam came in on the under too, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case. Now, the Jets are up to about $1.35 or even $1.40. So even though that widely reported steam did come in on Ottawa here, it does look like the Jets are taking back on some public money here. At least maybe that's how I'm interpreting it. Kachuk is doubtful in this game for Ottawa. Pinto is also doubtful for Ottawa here tonight. See what we got here with you guys in this one. Winnipeg on this winning streak at this point. No stopping the Jets. They just keep mowing through everybody. It's 10 straight wins right now for Winnipeg. Ottawa's lost 4 straight games actually coming into this one. Ottawa's losses to Montreal, Florida, Tampa Bay. They didn't look good in those games. They actually lost twice in a row to Tampa Bay. Also for Winnipeg here, they've won. They're on this winning streak now. Their last 3 wins, all against not the best competition, but they won by 1 goal against San Jose, St. Louis, and the Islanders. But nonetheless, they're still winning. They're winning. Let's get to your picks in this one. And see what you have between Ottawa and Winnipeg. Go to the chat. Oh, sorry, Rick. Sorry I missed you there. All right. Jerry said he's upfront and honest with himself. He says, look, I'm not a capper, but I know kind of like to work on those teams that are playing multiple games in multiple days. Philly Eagle Flyer leaning to the first period and full game draw. Also first period under full game under there, looks like, for Philly Eagle Flyer here, the Chat All Stars. All right. This Winnipeg streak does seem really good, man. And Ottawa all of a sudden back in a funk. Look, the Senators were playing well. There was no doubt about it. There's a good streak in here. And look, I still think they're, pretty decent club. Now, they did get blown out by Montreal last time, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Winnipeg Jets here. Gosh, I want to take this as my premium today, but I'm going to use them here. Maybe I'm not sure of the total. At this point, I'm going to use the total, but man, the value seems to be out of the total. Maybe I picked the wrong game there. Robert likes the under. Yeah, see, I knew. Yeah. Ottawa's just, they've gone over in all these games here of late, right? They gave up 5 goals in 3 consecutive games here right now. So, and Winnipeg, we know they can do it both. They can score. They got good goaltending, though, too. All right, that's it. I've made my play. I'm on the Jets here. Won't have a big premium card. Maybe just one premium out on the winnable. So we'll have plenty of college basketball, though. Cross my fingers. At least we got some winners yesterday. Really need to have a big day. Okay, here we go. The Devils are on the road taking on the Avalanche here in this one. The Avalanche there's no line. There's no line on the screen. I'm going to call it 140, 5.5 over 20. The widely reported steam came in on the Avalanche and the under in this matchup. Colorado's coming in here with a couple of losses in a row right now. Losses to St. Louis and to Nashville. For New Jersey here, they're off of a win over Nashville as well, 5-0. Now, Colorado has won 10 of the last 12 meetings between these two teams when they played in Colorado. Funny, right? The Devils, and if you're as old as I am, you know that the Devils are the old Rockies, right? Colorado's covered the puck line in 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams. At home, New Jersey's gone under in 4 of their last 5 games. Coming in, New Jersey's been that solid under, it seems like, all season long at this point. New Jersey 10-18-1 to the under so far this year. I mean, this one seems like it's got 2-1 written all over it. I don't even know which team would win. Abel's going under here. Philly Eagle Flyer says Avs on the money line. Okay. And let's see here. Oh, Tibby Two Shoes is here today. He says take Salah. Thank you, Tibby. Robert likes the Avs too. I'm on the Avs with you guys. Yeah, I'll take them here over New Jersey in this one. Okay, one more in the NHL. Told you it'd be quick. Canucks taking on the Kings here in this one. The Kings are $1.75 already. Yeah, $1.80 even at DraftKings right now. Total 5.5 under 40. Wow, this is a pretty significant move for sure, man. 20-cent move for sure. The under here with the Kings and the Canucks. Kind of hard to ignore it, right? Vancouver's been going under every game here for a couple of weeks right now. And the Kings, we know that they're a bit of an under team for sure, especially when they're a favorite. 12-17 to the under as a favorite. The Canucks are 11-19 to the under as an underdog. Now the Kings dominate at home. We know that. They smash teams right now, but Vancouver's actually covered the puck line in 8 of their last 9 games when playing the Kings on the road, and they are coming off of a road loss. That's a pretty wide sample and a very specific example, but LA here right now, they are just mowing through competition. They have that 19-3 record at home so far this season, the best in the NHL. So let's see what you have here. Maybe you could look to the puck line here. You got Vancouver 18-13 as a puck line dog. Kings just 12-18 as a puck line favorite here. Let's go to the chat. Take a look at this last game. Okay. Timmy, don't Mbappe's out, right? Mbappe's out. That's what they told me. I think he had a toothache. Okay. No, Jerry, I think a lot of people like to do that. I think a lot of people are into the -1. It's just a concept that a lot of times need to be explained because of the fact that the books just usually don't offer the minus. Not all of them do anyway. All right. Look, I'll just take the Kings on the money line here. It seems like easy money at this point. I know it's $1.75 or whatever, but probably don't want to, stick that one on the premiums or anything. Just taking here's it's not a free winner. I mean, come on, Vancouver's covered the puck line, so maybe they'll stay in there. All right. I think that's it for the NHL. Didn't come out so far, man. No consensus plays today in either NBA or NHL. Hopefully we can get something here in college basketball where I've lined up about 10 games to look at here. We won't spend a whole lot of time on it, but we'll spend enough time. Here we go. Start with a great game tonight. A great game tonight. Man, Michigan State and Maryland here in the Big Ten right now. Look, we know that Michigan State kind of controlling their own.
Steam play. Steam play.
Oh. Some steam rolling in. Okay, so.
Steam play.
Jeez, calm down. All right, so Michigan State kind of controlling their own destiny here a little bit. They're 13-3. Michigan's also 13-3. Maryland is 11-5. They're I don't think they're toast. I think they could win them all, but they got to start here. And they did take the steam, don't forget, just a little while ago, and that's why this one, it says 3.5, but we already know. We were right here on the show. 4.5, let's call it. And 149.5. A little bit of move to the under here for sure in this one between Maryland and Michigan State here with the big game today in the Big Ten. And we'll see what you guys want to do in this one. Days like today where we need to spend a little bit more on these games. So in case Mr. Tomatoes is watching. Michigan State comes in with a record of 22-5 overall, 13-3 as we mentioned in the Big Ten. For Maryland, they're 11-5 in the Big Ten, 21-6 overall. Maryland has won 4 straight and 8 of their last 9 games overall. As a home favorite in conference play this season, Maryland is 5-2 against the spread. Meanwhile, Michigan State is 4-0 against the spread as a road dog this season in the Big Ten. Michigan State's won 4 of their last 5 games coming into this one. Michigan State has won 6 straight games in this series right now. Maryland comes in with this winning streak for their last 5 coming in. They've covered the spread in 3 of those games and pushed against Rutgers. For Michigan State here, they've won and covered 3 straight games as well. Michigan State's been a solid under team for sure. This is an under series also between these 2 teams. Go to the chat, see what you have in this one. This is the first meeting of the season between the 2 teams. But like I said, nonetheless, it's definitely an under series. 7 of the last 8 meetings between these 2 teams have gone under. So let's go to the chat. Is it going to be enough for you with this hot Michigan State team to take the points on the road? Irish King took the Canucks in that game against Kings. All right, here we go. Thomas is on Maryland. Johnny Walker's on Michigan State. Jerry's on Maryland. Robert's on Maryland. Tex is a little behind us, but hello to Tex when he gets here. And Abel, like the Avs, he's behind us too. All of a sudden, oh boy. All right, well, I better just make the call here on the morning steam show in this one. And I'll take the under in this game between Michigan State and Maryland. Jerry says the last time they played, though, wasn't over. No. Okay. Next up, go to the SEC with this one between Vanderbilt and Texas A&M, with Texas A&M favored here in this one by 8 or so. Let's call it 7.5. 145.5. A little bit of move to Vandy, a little bit of move to the under here, it feels like right now. Big update here coming in. Let's see what we got. And let's see what we got in this game first with Vandy and Texas A&M. For A&M here, they've won 6 of the last 7 meetings between these 2 teams in College Station. Texas A&M's 15-3 in their last 18 games at home, dating back to last season. They're 12-2 straight up this year, but 9-5-1 against the spread at home, 10-7-1 against the spread as a favorite. Vanderbilt just 4-7 against the spread as an underdog, although Vanderbilt has covered for the last 5 meetings between these 2 teams overall. Vanderbilt's gone over in 4 of their last 5 games on the road, but Texas A&M's been a big-time under for sure. They are 9-18 to the under so far this season, 2-8 to the under in their last 10, 5-10 to the under in their games at home. So let's see if you have anything here in this one. Vanderbilt and Texas A&M. I mean, you have this A&M team, Texas A&M, the number 1 shot blocking team in the country, a top 15 scoring defense, a top 10 rebounding team. They're really top 10 in many defensive categories. So, for Vanderbilt, they can score for sure, but let's see what we got here in this one. Jerry says A&M and under. Robert's on A&M as well. And he says, that's a tough ask for them to cover, especially a team that kind of clamps you down and Oh, here we go. Thomas said, let's see. He's got A&M also, so it's a consensus play on A&M. Here we finally cracked the board. All right, if you guys are going a little bit of consensus there, we saw Jerry, saw Robert, saw Thomas. I'll take the under as my play, so we'll get 2 plays in there. I've got the under for sure in this one. Kansas State is at Central Florida. We've already talked about this game. I've already committed to taking Central Florida on that steam a little bit, right? That came in. There definitely was some steam. Uh, Interesting, guys. I just want to mention it right now that the Canucks and the Kings. We noted that 20-cent move to the under in the Canucks and the Kings game. Well, look. This thing's going even lower here right now. We're going to start to see in the Canucks Kings game tonight. Many of books may not, I don't know many, but some books are going to end up featuring 5 over 35 as the total. I believe this one will move south of 5.5 right now. So there's steam coming in on the under in the Canucks Kings game. It was already 5.5 under 40 last time we looked. All right, so for Central Florida here, just to be clear, let me at least get the correct line up there because they're 5.5, maybe 5 at some shops, and the total definitely 156. We'll call it 5, or no, we'll call it 5.5 because I went with Central Florida. So give me the tough line here. If you can find a 5, call it a little bit of value. In this one, the steam came in on Central Florida here in the matchup with Kansas State, and that's what I'm on. So I don't know how much deeper we need to get into it. You guys might want a little bit of information, but Central Florida, they've actually lost 4 of their last 6 games here at home of late. Kansas State's gone 4-2 against the spread on the road in their last 6 games coming into this matchup. Central Florida's gone under in 5 of their last 6 games at home. Kansas State's gone under in 4 of their last 5 games on the road here. And Kansas State definitely showing a bit of a penchant for some of these unders here of late, or at least lower scores. I don't know. I always get distracted when the Livy Dunn commercial comes on. So, anyways, a lot of these Kansas State games, I mean, they never get this high. 156. All right. I think I've had it here. Let's see if you guys have anything in this one. I don't know. Like I said, I already made my call. So, okay, let's see here. Texas A&M under for Robert's going under here a little bit. And Jerry says, I'm trying to think of what have been. I thought it was Jerry was saying like they're maybe Kansas State's playing Benedictine. All right, give me Central Florida here in this one. All right, next up, Kentucky and Oklahoma. Still a big game, no matter how you look at it here right now with Kentucky on the road. A road favorite, actually, at OU today. So, look, Kentucky can have their ups and downs. They're only 18-9. Oklahoma's 17-10, but Oklahoma was on a losing streak before they were able to pull off that win against Mississippi State last time out as a 4.5-point underdog for UK here. They're coming off that loss to Alabama. They didn't get the money. They were getting 12.5. They lost by 13. That kind of ended Kentucky's strong cover streak here of late. They were definitely winning and covering in several of those road games. So Kentucky, though, may have been covering, but they were, for example, they lost to Texas, remember, by 4, but they were getting 4.5. Kentucky's actually lost 4 of their last 5 on the road. Oklahoma's 14-4, their last 18 games straight up at home, dating back to last year, 11-4 overall this year. Kentucky just 2-6 on the road. What makes you think they're going to win this one? I kind of think they will, but the numbers might not shake out. So we'll see what you have, though. Maybe you can still take the Cats here. I kind of want to take the Cats, to be honest. I can't. I want to take them. Here we go. Let's see here. Oh, good morning to Sports Money in the chat. Thank you, Sports Money.
Steam playing. Final.
All right, let me see what you got here in this one with UK and Oklahoma. Man, I want to take Kentucky so bad. I'm gonna take them.
Final.
The line is too short. Is that what it is? Is that what it is, Thomas? I'm gonna take UK. I don't even know if I can make a case for him, given some of the trends here a little bit, right? All right, Oklahoma's gone over in 6 of their last 7 games at home. They're 11-5 to the over at home overall. Kentucky's gone over in 4 of their last 6 games on the road, but I don't think that's how this game's going. I mean, I may be reading this one. Maybe I'm trusting my numbers too much here, it feels like. But, I mean, I don't know if I have this thing reaching 160 at all tonight. All right. Abel's got A&M in that other matchup. I think Robert's going under in this one here with me. Jerry's on the Sooners. Rick says, you're right, Rick. They did not play poorly. I don't think they played poorly at all in that game against Alabama. I thought they did a pretty good job for sure. I think that's a sign of Pope. I think Kentucky, we can still trust them a little bit in some spots. And I'm going to take them here to win this game and cover on the road. I think they'll hold down Oklahoma a little bit. I know the perception here in some of these SEC games, look at what, we saw yesterday, right? With some of those overs. What was it with the Bama game? I actually ended up bet on the over. I didn't put it out at all, but the Tennessee LSU game, though, was an under yesterday. Okay. All right. Give me Kentucky here. Jerry says this is how Oklahoma will seal that berth. Okay. Next up. Just keep it right here in the SEC with Texas and Arkansas. Texas, an underdog by 4.5 right now. Arkansas, total 148 here right now in this one. I'm going to call this one down to 3.5 actually, and 147.5. I think we've seen a little bit of a move here on Texas this morning. There we go. All right. Let's take a look at some of this now here. Texas has actually lost 4 of their last 5 games on the road coming into this one, including that 84-69 loss against South Carolina. They got rocked in that one. They also lost at Vanderbilt. Arkansas has covered the spread in 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams overall. 6 of the last 7 games for Arkansas at home have gone under, but Texas has been going over here a little bit on the road. They're 4-2 to the over in their last 6 games, basically going over on the road in conference play, and non-conference games they were going under. Texas is 5-3 to the over as an underdog, but I think it's more going to be the Arkansas way of doing things here. I would think if they're going to be able to win it and cover, I think it ends up going under. It's just a matter of which way I want to play it. But let's see. Maybe you guys go one way and I'll go the other, or let's see what you've got here in this one. Here we go. Rick's on Arkansas. That's it. Rick's got Arkansas. Okay, that's the way I kind of want to play it too. Robert's on Texas. He shot it down there, Thomas. Thomas says Arkansas. Don't worry, we got 6 or 7 more games. We might have it here still. We might have the winner. Wow, has it really been that wild there? Hey, Noli's here in the chat. He's got the under in the game tonight between Navy and American. Like, you think of Navy in some of these conference games as a dog. I think that can lean to the under. Noli on the under. I'm writing that down. Abel took Kansas State. Is that what you did? Hey, I've got some steam in a game we didn't preview. It maybe been worthy of making the preview games, but didn't put it in there because I picked 10 games. This one was probably 11 or 12. Penn State and Indiana. The steam is coming in on the under here. It was 151.5. We're all the way down here, it looks like, to 149 on a pretty significant move. If you think of it, Penn State, Indiana, yeah, maybe they trend under, especially Indiana, right? Steam right now coming in on the under between Penn State and Indiana. Currently now that number is 148.5. It looks like. Maybe at some books, 149 for sure. All right. Okay. So in that one, I'm going to take. What did I say I'm taking? What did I say I'm doing? Oh, Texas and Arkansas. There we go. I'm going to take the under in this one. Texas and Arkansas under 147.5. All right, St. John's and Butler, and we've already talked about a pretty significant move in this game as well. Right now, this one is all the way down to 7, maybe even 6.5 here in this one with St. John's and Butler. The move is clearly on Butler here. The steam also came in on the over here. It's at 151 now. So, Will St. John's be slowed, be stopped? Now Butler's starting to play a lot better, no doubt about it, but St. John's is just unstoppable, it feels like, at this point. They won and covered against Connecticut. They won and covered against DePaul. So whether a team is good or bad, seems like St. John's has been doing the job here. St. John's 15-10 against the spread as a favorite. Butler just 6-10 against the spread at home. Now, granted, Butler had some struggles early on. They're definitely playing some of their best ball, it feels like, here of late. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but Butler has gone over in 5 straight games overall. Man, could this be the one? Could St. John's have a bump in the road here at this point? Because it does feel like right now they're just pretty unstoppable. They've got that 2-game lead on Creighton here right now. Look, it has not been a great season for Butler here, but man, they took this. If you like discounts, St. John is your team here. St. John's was up to, it was an 8-point favorite. They're definitely lower now. St. John's won the first meeting 70-62. They did not cover in that game. Make no mistake, they were favored by 11.5 at home and only won by 8 here. So I'm going to try this Butler team today. Look, I love St. John's. I love Patino. And, I probably should have a little bit more on St. John's to win the whole darn thing. But I'm going to take Butler here in this one today. Let's go to the comments here and see what we got. Jerry's on Butler as well. Rick J says that he thinks that this is a tough conference. And he says the people steaming this. No, I said steam is on. I've got the steam on the Yeah, the over. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right about that, Jerry. Sorry about that. You're right. You're right. I agree. This is an under series too, if I'm not mistaken. Let's
To
see if
play.
well, 5 of the last 6, right? That first meeting was 132. The total that day was 147. Last year's meeting here was 82-59. St. John's won it. We went for 141 points, and the total was 151, just like it is today. Abel likes the Cats. Oh, he must have been talking about Kentucky. Robert's on Thomas is on St. John's, but Cash Kane's on Butler. Cash Kane says, it's really Butler kind of getting healthy here. That's why he thinks that they've had this good surge here of late. Haywood is questionable here tonight. Robert likes the over here. He does like the over, though. Noli said he already targeted that future there. Interesting to note that, right? On that St. John's. All right, Timmy's got a play from Germany here. Thank you. Thank you, Timmy. And I should have probably should have done a little better job talking about the Pokal game today. I didn't mention that in the Cup games there. St. John's money line there for Jerry. And Tex says maybe St. John's, maybe just bet him to get to the Final Four. It does feel like. Look, I love Patino. I'm taking Butler here in this one. I think Patino probably knows what he's up against here tonight. All right, got a few more. We can get that second consensus play for somebody here, maybe. How about BYU on the road taking on Arizona State? Now, Arizona State did take.
Play.
Let me squeeze one in because we did this game earlier, and the steam is coming in against me here. The steam has just come in on the over in the game between Vanderbilt and Texas A&M. It was 146, as I said, but now it's up to 147. And hey, I'll take it when I get off the air. I said go under, and steam is on the over here with Vanderbilt and Texas A&M. All right, so BYU here is on the road against Arizona State, and the steam has come in on Arizona State here. BYU was a 5-point favorite. It's down to only 4.5 here, it looks like, for the most part. There might be a couple of 4s out there somewhere, but tell you what, this board's starting to light up. I wouldn't be surprised if we get the steam alert here over the next few minutes. This total is up to 149.5 for sure here. So call it 4.5, 149.5 at this point. There we go. Between BYU here on the road, BYU has won 4 straight games coming in to this one and covered. They've covered 8 of their last 10 overall. They're 14-9 against the spread as a favorite. But ASU 11-7 against the spread as an underdog here. BYU's covered 5 straight meetings against Arizona State overall. The teams met back on December 31st, and it was BYU 76-56. They covered as a 9.5-point favorite in that one. Now, I would probably only count that one and maybe a meeting last year the teams had. The BYU crushed ASU. They really kind of owned them. And I think that's probably the direction I'm going to go, actually. I'm going to take BYU and lay this 4.5 here, a little bit of a discount, it feels like. And I'm going to take the Cougars. Arizona State's gone over in 5 of their last 6 games at home. BYU's 7-3 to the over in their last 10 games overall. But I'm going to take BYU here to win and cover on the road. And Jerry says, take Arizona State, sprinkle that money line. College Station's here today. Nice to have College Station back, taking ASU. But Rick J says BYU, and Robert likes the over. All right, we're running out of time, though, now. If we're going to get the – but I've got 3 more games. We can still hit that consensus here. Maybe we'll lie. Maybe we'll just put a team in there for the fun of it. But how about Ohio State and USC here? We already know the steam came in on Ohio State. That brought this game down to a pick 'em. But I think USC, pick 'em here, 151.5 for pretty much at a lot of spots. There we go. I'm going to call it a pick 'em. There's still some USC -1 out there a little bit as well, but USC 15 and USC 14 and 13. Ohio State 15 and 13. Both teams have lost 3 straight games coming into this one. USC's been a big-time over team this season. They've gone over in 8 of their last 10 games overall. They've gone over in 5 of their last 7 at home, and they've gone over in 9 of their 13 games as a favorite. Ohio State, however, has gone 4-7 to the under as an underdog. One game I'm going to pass along in case Noli's still here. Just going to Eastern Kentucky and North Florida. Real interesting here that this game is getting steamed to the under. It was 167, and now it's down here to 166 or so. I only note that because North Florida is that team, right? They're the big over team of the season, aren't they? One of the over teams. That matchup you'd think would be an over, but the steam's coming in on the under. Eastern Kentucky does have some long-term kind of under consistent trends, but all right, let me continue on, though, this more significant game with USC and Ohio State. USC is 11-6 straight up at home. Ohio State's 3-6 straight up on the road. And let's see here. Thomas is on Ohio State. And I think that's it. From you guys. I better make my call here. I'm going to go under with Ohio State and USC. All right, we're running out of time here. Let's go to the Mountain West, where we've got Utah State and Boise State in this one. Big game here for Utah State. They're tied with New Mexico atop the standings right now. But Boise State's still favored here at the Taco Bell Chevron Extra Mile Arena. Those ones where you walk into this Chevron Extra Mile and they've also got a Taco Bell in there. That's what this arena's like. Boise's won 2 straight. Utah State has won 2 straight right now. Boise with wins over Nevada they covered, over New Mexico they covered, following that loss against San Diego State on the road by 17 points. Meanwhile, for Utah State, they beat San Diego State 79-71 at home on Saturday, and also they beat San Jose State earlier in the week. They smashed them. Utah State's covered 4 straight games coming into this game. Utah State's also won 10 of their last 12 games on the road. They're excellent here. We know their record is outstanding at 24-4. Boise 19-8 coming into this one. Utah State is 5-0 against the spread as an underdog so far this season. And they've won 5 straight meetings against Boise State overall. Boise State has covered 5 straight games, however, at home right now as part of this hot streak, and they've won 5 straight at home. But, man, can you really consider them here? Utah State's gone over in 8 of their last 10 games overall, although they are just 1-3-1 to the under. As a dog, still Boise State 13-9. To the over as a favorite. I'm taking the over here in this one with Utah State and Boise State. See what you guys have here in this one. Jerry Davis took USC. Timmy was just playing that Alidad game. What I thought it ended. Did I miss the finish? All right. Let's see here. Robert's on the under. Boise needs this bad, says Rick. And Jermaine just got here and he missed the whole show. All right. Thomas says he wants to put Boise in there as a consensus play. He feels bad we didn't get it. So, that'll give us a little two-teamer. Wish we had a few people put in Boise there to make it official. I guess we did. Rick chased it hard not to take it. I guess that qualifies. All right, that's it. Oh, no, I've got one more. Maybe we can get one more out of this. San Francisco and Oregon State tonight. Oregon State is favored in this one by 3.5. The total 142.5 here in this one. For San Francisco, they are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games on the road. Meanwhile, for Oregon State, they are 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games at home. Oregon State's gone 11-1 in their last 12 games at home overall. Does feel like a pretty good spot for Oregon State, man. They're 15-2 straight up at home. Or I'm sorry, 15-2 against the spread at home this season. Talking about the Oregon State Beavers here. 15-2 straight up and against the spread. They're also 18-2 against the straight up as a favorite are the Oregon State Beavers. Meanwhile, San Francisco just 2-6 straight up as an underdog. Oregon State's gone over in 9 of their last 10 games overall. They're 13-7 against the spread, 13-7 to the over as a favorite. Meanwhile, San Francisco just 3-6-1 to the under in their last 10 games overall. If Oregon State's going to control this game, I got to think it goes over here. Let's see what you guys have in this one. Good game here from the West Coast Conference to wrap us up. Thomas does kind of like San Francisco here. I'll tell you what, I'll go with the over here in this one. Give me the total. I'll take it over. College Station likes Oregon in the over. And, boy, I don't want to say this out loud. You'll just have to read it for yourself. Everybody, read it to yourself right now and make your friends around you laugh. All right. Timmy Two Shoes says he wants the Dons, but he'll wait. That's going to do it for the Morning Steam Show, everybody. Appreciate you joining me here today. We had some fun. I think we've got some winners. You can catch my best plays over at winnable.com. I'm going to have some winners over there for sure. I feel like I just gave a bunch of them out. I'm going to expect that maybe it will be a shorter card for me today over at Winnable. Kind of cleaned up the college basketball there a little bit last night, but not going to go too hard right now until we kind of I had a rough start to the week. So I'm going to, kind of be toning it down a little bit with those premiums. And again, I'm going to be looking to issue maybe 2 packages a day, maybe an overnight package. We've got to take advantage of these lines a little bit now, especially once we get into tournament play. We know we're just a week away from Arch Madness, so we're going to be firing away on conference tournaments. Remember, when we get into conference tournaments, we've got a week. It's better. Here's the thing, right? We know for college basketball fans, conference tournament week, that's better than the NCAA tournament, man. Come on, if you like betting. Now, you don't have as much information, but, man, when you've got games popping off in the morning on the weekdays, Thursday, Friday, it's awesome. So make sure you're with me over at winnable.com, and I'm going to be a little bit more I'm going to say sporadic. I'm going to be more consistent. I'm going to try to get the best plays when I can to the subscribers here. I want to thank everyone who is subscribing over there. We've got, well, a few dozen of you subscribing to these packages at $4 a day, $8 a week, and $19.95 a month. So I really appreciate it. Keeps me coming back here every day to do this show. I look forward to it every day, you guys. I really, really do. Got 75 of you in here right now still hanging on with me, and I'm not even going to make another pick. So I just appreciate everybody so much. For me at this point in my life to have people wanting to hear what I have to say, or at least be here with me. Oh, they might fade me, but it motivates me to come in here and be with you guys every day, especially when you're just a lonely old man just sitting here watching sports all day, making sports picks. All right, let's get our contest together here, right? Oh, let me do it here behind the scenes and bring it up right now. And see who's going to win on our little two-teamer here, I guess, is what we've got. Oops. You guys seeing that right there? I brought up the wrong tab. You don't want to see that. All right, here we go for the drawing today. We got a couple dozen of you entered here, it looks like. Give you another minute or so to enter in, type in anything in the chat comments here. Thomas says there are the picks there. Let's bring it up. Let's get it ready for the contest. And here we go. Who is going to win? Timmy Two Shoes, Jerry, College Station, Thomas, Sports Money, Johnny Walker, Cash Kane, Noli, and it's going to be Textiles. You know it's Textiles, baby. Tex going to win our two-teamer tonight for sure. Get ready, Tex. I don't know how much. Might be $7, but hey, I'm a man of my word. So, all right, everybody, it's going to do it here for the show. Oh, did we get the... There we go. Appreciate everybody joining me here today on the Sports Money Network. Make sure you join Mikey Money today at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific for pre-gaming. Mikey will get you ready for the prime time action, including the action from college basketball, NBA, NHL. And don't forget, it's Wednesday night. So First Strike will debut tonight with preview here for the UFC Fight Night. We got Fight Night card from Las Vegas this week with top contenders here, Manuel Cup and Asu Almabayev here this week. So get ready for First Strike here with the guys on Wednesday late night, or take a look tomorrow. But also don't forget, I've got a UFC preview up already here on the Sports Money Network with VB MMA Picks. Our special guest this week was Liam Picks Fights. And when Liam Picks Fights, Liam brings a whole army of viewers here. So we had a huge turnout for our show. Over 300 live views already on the VB MMA Picks show this week. We also had the representative from SX.bet. SX.bet is the world's largest blockchain betting exchange. Check your jurisdictions. It is available in Canada. We know we got a lot of Canadians here watching the show right now. All right, that's going to do it here for me. Also, don't forget, Sub's got a video out there right now for one of the EPL games that goes off here in about 3 hours. So make sure you check that out as well. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
Can't escape from the team, call the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. Ramon Scott, sports money. Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.